Acknowledge me, the one. Acknowledge me. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Kick It to Scoops. I'm your host, Scoops, the sole admin of Scoops. And what a interesting round of AFL football we had on the weekend from Thursday all the way till Sunday. The first game of the round was the biggest robbery of this season. The last game of this round was one of the happiest non-St Kilda games I've had all season. We had the tale of two halves, the biggest robbery of this season and the biggest upset of this season, all in one round. So that's why it's interesting. At the start of the round, I was very angry, and don't you worry, we'll be covering that. And the robbery from number 37, Martin Roger, the worst AFL umpire in AFL history. A disgrace to this league, who should be removed, and we'll get to that shortly. The umpiring in that game, severely protecting Geelong, was severely bullshit. And then the upset of all upsets, the Bombers did what the Saints needed and GWS did not need, and what Carlton and North Melbourne and Gold Coast to a lesser extent needed as well. So, Bomber fans, get up and about. This episode is for you. I never thought I'd be playing this song on a Monday night.
See the Bombers fly up to win the premiership flag. Our boys who play this grand old game are always striving for glory and fame. See the Bombers fly up. The other teams they don't fear. They all try their best, but they can't get near as the Bombers fly up.
Well, the Bombers did fly up on Sunday at Marvel. Cut the music. Thank you very much. Really appreciate it, Bombers. But you're still shit. But you're off the bottom of the ladder. So you got something to celebrate. Celebrate that. And St Kilda, North Melbourne, Carlton, and to a lesser extent Gold Coast are very happy that you're all won. And this shapes up this 2 weeks games in particular. 2 games in this week in particular. St Kilda, North Melbourne, and Carlton, Gold Coast will severely tell who is going to get 10th place this season. The loser, so if Gold Coast lose to Carlton, they're basically realistically, not mathematically, but realistically over. If Carlton lose, they're behind the pack and unlikely to make finals. St Kilda win, they're one step closer to becoming the 10th team in the final series, in the wildcard side of things, at least. If North Melbourne win, then it's interesting. They've got a hard fixture in their games. They're unlikely to make it, but if they can beat the Saints, they'll be at the front of the ledger, percentage dependent on if Carlton were to win as well, because they're only like 0.2, 0.3 apart, those two sides. St Kilda are about 6% better. We're on 104% or something like that, where the others are in the late 90s. So, except for GWS, are about 101%. So, give or take 3% or so. So, it's very interesting. But thank you to the Essendon Football Club. Thank you to the players that went on the field, all 23 of them. In particular, Zach Merritt and Jackson Pryor and Hussein Hal Achkar and Sullivan Roby and Dyson Sharp and Sam Durham as well and Mr. Bryan in the ruck. Thank you all very much. It's greatly appreciated. You saved my weekend of football because a lot of my teams lost in the AFL. Well, I got one team in the AFL clear, but my other teams and all that lost. So Essendon, you saved the weekend for me. So thank you very much. It's greatly appreciated. And good luck for the rest of the season. Spoil a few more parties, just not us. But we don't play you anyway, so it doesn't matter. But thank you very much. Now, GWS would have been in the top 10, I was going to say the 8, in the top 10 by a game and potentially percentage if they had won by a decent margin over St Kilda, North Melbourne, Carlton, and 2 games ahead of Gold Coast. But that's not the case, so everything is up for grabs. I just mentioned the Essendon players there. I'll talk about it in detail maybe a bit more later in their game, but thank you very much, Essendon players, everyone that played. And Dean Solomon finally got your first win. It's going to be your first and only win, Dean, because you won't and should not be the coach of Essendon in 2027 and beyond, and neither should James Hird, and everything like that. Before I get into everything still as well, congratulations to Ken Hinkley, the former Port coach, who is the new Tasmanian coach in the AFL for season 2028. Well done, Ken. He was wrongfully terminated at the Port Adelaide Football Club. Port Adelaide made the wrong decision to have Josh Carr in, who was essentially their coach last year when they didn't do well. Ken was just there for the title. Now Ken has the official title to be the inaugural coach of Tasmania in the AFL. So well done, Ken. Well deserved. He beat Nathan Buckley and John Longmire in the race for that job. So well done, Ken. It's thoroughly deserved, Ken. Well done. Hopefully Tasmania can treat you right, Ken. Right. Now, enough of all that. It's time to get up and about. But before we do that, we'll start off with this. You want me on Cameo? Head to cameo.com/Cooper G. You want me to roast a friend, wish somebody happy birthday, anything at all. Cameo.com/Cooper G. If you know any AFL, AFLW players or any state league players and you want to see them on the channel in a Gold King Challenge and or interview, please do send me a message and we'll try and get something sorted. And share my content around. I would truly appreciate that as well. Alrighty. It's time. It is time for that world famous segment. It's going to be a fiery one tonight. Scoops goes bang. Now, Martin Roger, number 37. I'm going to call you number 37 because you don't deserve to have your name mentioned anymore. So, number 37, the bold guy. Now, if you remember a few years ago when Liam Stocker got his legs taken out by Patrick Dangerfield in round 1 of 2024, I'm pretty sure it was round 1 of 2024. We played Geelong at Shaver Stadium, GMHBA Stadium, okay? For people that don't know. We got robbed in that game as well because of number 37. Throughout that game, he was nothing short of a disgrace. He severely protected Geelong. It wouldn't shock me if he supports Geelong. And even if he doesn't, the AFL love Geelong. So that's part of their thing. They've got to protect Geelong. So he robbed us in 2024 that Liam Stocker got his legs taken out by Patrick Dangerfield, who, by the way, in this matchup on the weekend, Liam Stocker destroyed the crap out of Patrick Dangerfield. Liam Stocker had 22 disposals, 6 intercept possessions, a couple of 1%, a lot of contested marks or impactful possessions and everything like that. And Dangerfield had 8 disposals and a Joey the Goose over the top handball on his own when Stocker wasn't even on him in that moment, and got a cheap goal and had like 6 touches. Dangerfield was rubbish, and Liam Stocker owns Patrick Dangerfield again. But of course, the umpires severely protect Geelong and Patrick Dangerfield again. And guess who did it last year, or 2 years ago in 2024? Martin Roger, number 37, the bold guy. The bold fraud. Okay. Now, he is the worst umpire in AFL history, number 37. So without a shadow of a doubt, Andrew Stevens is there with him as the worst umpires in AFL history. If you remember Andrew Stevens, he was the umpire that said not 15, not 15, not 15 against St Kilda in Tasmania against Hawthorn when Shane Savage was playing back then. He was smiling and smirking, shaking hands with the Hawthorn players after that game. Now, Martin Roger is the worst umpire in AFL history alongside Andrew Stevens. I have not seen an umpire any worse than those two individuals. There's a lot of bad umpires out there in the AFL, but there's no one as bad as them. Now, I know there's others that people talk about this year and over time, but there's no one as bad as these two. He had a vendetta from day dot to screw St Kilda over again, and he proved that was the case again this week. When you see my matchday vlog, you'll understand what I'm talking about. He is the worst umpire in AFL history. He went out there to screw us over. Well, I guess he succeeded in that because how many times did he screw us over? Jack Higgins, there's a 50-metre penalty against Higo, or Ryan Burns, sorry. In the third quarter, I think it might have been. He screwed us over severely. The whole game. From day dot, when Geelong had that jump at the start, all the free kicks were happening and free kicks that resulted in goals. And a lot of them, if not all of them, involved number 37, the bold fraud, Andrew Stevens. Oh, sorry. Well, he's an idiot as well. But Martin Roger. Absolute disgrace. Number 37, Martin Roger. You should be ashamed of yourself. You are the worst umpire alongside Andrew Stevens in AFL history. Absolutely embarrassing how the AFL have umpires that severely protect Geelong continue to get a game each and every week. And by the way, how did Matt Stevick, the umpire who protected Hawthorn against Carlton the week prior, get a gig this week? Where is selection integrity? If AFL clubs can drop players for shit performances, so can the AFL for their shit umpires. But then I guess they would have no umpires left because they're all, basically all of them, the majority of them are shit. And that's why they don't drop them. They've got no... The AFL don't care that they're ruining the game. As long as they're collecting their paychecks, they don't give a shit about me, you, or anyone else. They only care about their pockets and the money they're collecting. They don't give a shit about you. They never have. And they probably never will. The umpiring in this game was bullshit. Now, did we start crap or not that great? Yeah, we didn't start great at all. Not doubting that. But anytime we came back and put in the effort with Liam Ryan's efforts and Ryan Burns and Higo and Sharman and everyone like that, Garcia, Naz, Filippo, whoever it was, the umpires knew how to screw us over. No dropping the ball on Geelong. Naz gets dumped on the floor and the free was reversed. Bullshit. And you'll see my matchday vlog how angry I was and how bullshit the umpiring was. My vlog only shows some of the bullshit examples where Geelong got severely protected. Now, why was Tom Sniper Stewart not suspended for clotheslining Liam Ryan? Which, shockingly, he actually got a free for. I couldn't believe it. But at that point, Geelong had been severely protected where the game was screwed because of the umpiring. Now, I'm telling you right now, Tom Sniper Stewart should be suspended for that. Clearly, he wasn't. But, again, a Geelong player being protected shocked me, right? Tom Stewart is a dirty player. I don't care how many All-Australians he's got, where he came from playing local footy here in Geelong. I don't care. The umpiring was a disgrace. Now, we move on from that to Kane Corns. You hadn't featured for a while, Volcano. Did you just want to gravitate to being mentioned by me again? So you had to say something stupid about St Kilda again? So you knew I could mention you again? Because you love being talked about on here? And I know you watch this because I know so. Because I've been told you do. So Kane, you have a go at St Kilda fan channels. You were on a particular channel recently debating with someone. And quite arguably, you said Garcia was not a good player. He doesn't just show enough. Another goal in 31! When are you going to realise that you are wrong? You say St Kilda have beaten no one of relevance and have made no improvement? That's bullshit. Garcia, Hall, Filippo, Wilson, Naz, Sinclair, De Koning, Marshall, Wilkie, etc. have all had good seasons. But you talk about we got no future and everything like that. We got more of a future than what Puelade have. Your best player, Zach Butters, is out the door. And I'm sure Mitch Georgiades and, what's the other guy? Connor Rosie, I'm sure at some point will leave as well. In particular, Georgiades. Worry about your own backyard, Kane. To say we've beat nobody. Last time I checked, Kane, GWS we've beaten twice, who played in a final series last year. We were robbed against the Swans at the SCG because of the Max Hall 915 mark thing. We were robbed against the Bulldogs, who are in that conversation and are currently, from that Max Hall again, ran too far bullshit, which wasn't the case. So the AFL have it out for Max Hall as well. I've just realised this right now while I'm speaking. Max Hall, I had predicted pre-season to be in my top 50 players. Now, had he not been robbed in those two instances, he'd be talked about even more, Max, as one of the best players in the competition this year in terms of most improved and in all Australian conversations. But the AFL are trying to screw my predictions also by doing that. Either way, Kane, stop bagging St Kilda, get an education, and just because you failed as a firefighter doesn't mean you have to take it out on St Kilda players and the club themselves. Now, you always try and bag Ross Lyon, Kane, right? Okay? You try and bag Ross Lyon out all the time, but you always do it from when you're nowhere near in the vicinity of Ross Lyon. When Ross Lyon was on the agenda setters this year, or SEN or whatever platform it was on, you were right next to him and you didn't say any of this to his face. You say it away from him. Say it to Ross's face and then we'll see how you go with him. We have done well this season. Injuries as well throughout the year. Hopefully Max King plays this week against North Melbourne in the AFL. It's looking likely. Now, he did train on Sunday, I've been told, and he did well there. So if he gets through this week's training, Max King will be back for the Saints in the AFL, and that's a great sight to see. And TDK's a chance as well this week, which is also great to see. But Kane, get an education. Seriously. St Kilda live rent-free in your head that you have to keep bagging them every chance you get. We don't hear from you when St Kilda win. And if we do, it's only Richmond, it's only Hawthorn, or whoever it is. That's what you're running with, okay? We've beaten GWS, who played in the final series. We went toe-to-toe, one of the premiership favourites in Brisbane, Fremantle, and Sydney. The top three premiership contenders this year are Brisbane, Freo, and Sydney. And we were beating all of them for the bulk of the game until we were robbed in all three games, in particular the Swans game and the Freo game and the Adelaide game where we lost by a point from the Sam Flanders not 15 again. Sorry, the handball that he handballed, which you paid holding the ball. So we were robbed against genuine contenders, and whether you want to say we weren't robbed or we were robbed, this does not change. They were in it against Adelaide, Sydney, Brisbane and Freo right until the very end. Gold Coast, the same thing in Darwin. We were at it till the end. And all of those sides played finals last year. And Geelong game in the third quarter this weekend, we were about 10 points down, and if Sharman had kicked that goal, it would have been like 8 points. Sorry, not 10 points. It would have been like 8 points if he kicked that goal halfway through the third quarter, and we're in it then. And if it wasn't for the umpiring in the Geelong game, we were in it. So the point of the matter is, Kane, we have shown improvement, okay? We have. You just don't want to admit it. And Garcia, your call on Garcia was pathetic. And the fact that you won't admit that Hugo Garcia has done well for a guy who was pick 50 about 2 or 3 seasons ago is doing better than what Jack Steele was doing. Hugo is performing better this year than what Jack Steele is. Now, Steele's doing fine, but Hugo's doing better. St Kilda have invested in the future, and Hugo may not have got this amount of midfield minutes with Jack Steele there. So it's benefited all parties. Steele's going to be in the final series, and Hugo has got the minutes he's wanted and may also be playing in the final series himself. Okay? It's worked for the best for both parties. Get an education, Kane. You're an embarrassment. Stop having a go at St Kilda and worry about your own crap team in Port Adelaide who can't win a game. This honourable losses bullshit is laughable from Port Adelaide fans who are happy losing games. There's Port Adelaide fans out there that are thinking the Freo game on the weekend, albeit they were okay, but you didn't win the game. So how can you be happy with the result? You can be happy you competed, but don't be happy with the result. That means you're accepting losses. So that means you're accepting mediocrity. Kane, worry about Port Adelaide and don't worry about us. We beat you twice as well, okay? Your side, we beat twice. Worry about your own shit team. Banter club. And embarrassing journalist. Pull your head in is embarrassing. Hope you all enjoyed that edition of the world famous segment. Scoops Bang, I told you it was going to be a fiery one, and it was a fiery one indeed. All right, now it's time to go through my Scoops round 19 AFL team of the week. From the back line, the pockets is stock take season. It's Liam Stocker. Jarman Impey. Fullback, Tom McCartan. Back line, the flankers, John Noble and Zach Merritt. Centre half back, Harris Andrews. Wingers, Hugo Garcia. Listen to that one, Volcano. And Connor McDonald. Centreman, one of the original Scoops medal winners, Took Miller. Took Miller. Half forward line, the flankers, the skunk, the man from Terrelgan, Timmy Membry. Jake Waterman. Centre half forward, Mitch Lewis. Forward pockets, Tom Papley and Jai Amos. Full forward, the man from the Crows, Darcy. Ruck. Oh, there's only one man it could be. Rowan Marshall. Rovers and Dacos. And Lockie Neal. The interchange. Kai Lohman. Brian Myers. Isaac Rankin. Harry Sheasel. And Matt Jefferson. Not the long list of emergencies because people will be upset this week. It's only 4 emergencies. Sullivan Roby, Mateus Filippo, N. Watson, and J. Stringer, the package. Now, reasons for all these selections. Okay, let me get the graphic on the screen for you all to see. What a team of the week this week. So many forward-line players kicking goals made it hard to choose. So, the reasons for all these selections. So, I mean, I'm just going to stress enough that Rowan Marshall's game was easily 3 votes worthy. Now, I saw the coaches' votes. Bailey Smith got 9 votes, as did Rowan Marshall, meaning one coach did not give Rowan Marshall best on ground. And I'm pretty adamant and confident it was Chris Scott. Now, Chris Scott is so biased, just like the AFL are, and severely protecting his own players. How was Bailey Smith, a midfielder, better than Rowan Marshall, a ruck? Rowan Marshall, I'm telling you right now, okay? This was the best ruck performance of not only this year, but of a very, very long time. Rowan Marshall destroyed the Geelong Rucks, Mitch Edwards and Sam De Koning. Okay? He destroyed them. Rowan Marshall, for a ruck, 2 goals, 1. 33 disposals. 26 of those 33 contested. 10 score involvements with a goal assist. 12 clearances. And 6 inside 50s. Tell me how the hell that's not maximum vote worthy. Yet Bailey Smith, a midfielder, 1 goal. That's already 1 less than Marshall. 35 disposals. Okay, 2 more disposals. At 9 turnovers and 2 clearances for a mid. An A-grade mid getting 2 clearances and 9 turnovers and 1 less goal is not better than a ruckman. A ruckman getting 33 disposals, 2 goals, 12 clearances, and 10 score involvements is like a midfielder getting 55 disposals and 3 goals. Essentially. Because you've got to factor in that a ruck getting that many disposals and numbers of clearances and score involvements is up there with some of the best midfield performances all year. So a ruck getting it is easily better. And Mitch Edwards was so shit, they took him out of the ruck for parts of the game and put Sam De Koning there. So what's that tell you? That tells you that Chris Scott is so one-eyed and biased. Now you're going to be saying, oh, you go for St Kilda. You're saying Marshall, you're one-eyed. No, I'm spitting facts. And the fact of the matter is, Rowan Marshall was robbed of coaches' votes, of the maximum 10 coaches' votes. Now, I know Ross Lyon would not have done that, so it was clearly Chris Scott. Because Chris Scott has no idea. And you say you want to recruit Rowan Marshall and you screw him over in the coaches' votes. You're just so jealous, Scotty, that Rowan Marshall could not get to your banter club. Now, yeah, you beat us, yeah, from us being robbed and not taking out our opportunities and fumbling the ball all the time. We'll get to that. Anyway, Stocktake season destroyed Patrick Dangerfield. I mentioned before, 22 disposals, 6 intercept possessions, about the same for 1%ers. A lot of courageous acts from Stocker, putting his body on the line like he always does, and destroyed Patrick Dangerfield, who had 8 disposals and a Joey the Goose out the back goal, not on Stocker, when the game was essentially over. Because we were robbed. Tom McCartan had 22 disposals, about 18 1%ers. Yes, 18 and like 13 intercept possessions. He just had to get in. Jarman Impey, a goal and 34 off the half-back line was really good. John Noble, 30 disposals and decent numbers, so he did well. Harris Andrews had 22 disposals and like 13 1%ers in that, and intercepts as well. He was really good. Zach Merritt, I know he played a little bit of midfield and everything like that, but he also played half-back. So a goal and 35. Zach Merritt showed why he's still a very good player, and he impacted the game and helped Essendon win this game. Hugo Garcia, a goal, 31 disposals. Okay. He also had 6 score involvements and 7 clearances and 4 tackles and 7 inside 50s. Hugo was great. Tuke Miller, 39 disposals. How he did not get maximum coaches' votes over the Bulldogs captain, who is nothing short of severely protected. It's bullshit. Tuke Miller was easily best on ground in his game. He had 39 disposals, 5 marks, 5 tackles, 17 of his 39 contested, 72% disposal efficiency, 6 score involvements, a goal assist, and 9 clearances. That's easily better than Marcus B. But we know that Marcus B is severely protected and doesn't earn his votes at all. He just gets handed it for playing the game. Connor McDonald had 4 goal assists, 9 score involvements for 32 disposals. He deserved to spot in the team. Tim Membry, the man from Terralgan, as Hutto likes to keep saying. Tim Membry, 3 goals, 16 disposals. He was awesome, the skunk. So many important moments where Tim Membry was involved and got the Pies a win, and he deserved a spot. Mitchell was 5 goals in the first half. Did the damage there, so he was in the team. Jake Waterman kicked 5, and was a consistent performer. Mitchell Lewis only got in because he was so insanely dominant in the first half, where another Hawthorn player did not make it, purely for the fact of the bench forwards in front of him. Mitchell Lewis was better than them. Jake Waterman was really good, as I said. Tom Papley, 4 goals, 24 disposals, kept the Swans in it. Darcy in the forward line for the Crows, he was really good. Riley Thilthorpe's last ceiling goal was awesome. Jai Amos was really good for 4 goals. Rowan Marshall, I mentioned his stats before, 2 goals, 32 disposals, 12 clearances, 10 score involvements and a goal assist. 26 of his 33 disposals were contested with his 2 goals. And Dacos, 36 disposals, like 9 clearances. He was really good. Lockie Neal, a goal and 32 and like 9 clearances or so. Clearance machine was Lockie Neal, again, in Brisbane's matchup. Kai Lohman kicked 4 and had 18. He was really good and consistent. Brian Mize was Geelong's best player easily, 3 goals and 22 disposals and about 3 or 4 goal assists, so he deserved his spot. Isaac Rankin, a goal and 30 and about 20 of those contested. Harry Sheasel, 33 disposals and a goal. He was really good, the Shees man. And Matt Jefferson from Melbourne kicked 4 goals. It was either him or Watson, and I went Jefferson. Now, Philippo was really good and really impactful. He was really close to making the bench. It would have been at the expense probably of Isaac Rankin or Sheasel. But yeah, it was close. 28 disposals, a lot of good impact. Just playing Mateus' best game this season. Watson kicked 5, so he was next forward. Jake Stringer, I understand he kicked 7 behinds, but if you actually look at his game, he had 10 score involvements with his 17 disposals and like 7 marks. So he deserved his spot in the conversation. I understand he kind of cost them a game in a way through his goal kicking, but that doesn't change that he had a good game. He had a good game still. He just was very inaccurate in front of goals. And a lot of them, to be fair, were like snap kicks, impacts, or in stoppage and everything like that. So cut him some slack. He still performed better than the majority of his teammates. So cut him some slack there. And Sullivan Roby, I just liked the way he played. He had a goal and 17 disposals and probably like 4 clearances and a few score involvements. But he just did so well. He was damaging with his disposals. So I was close to putting him in the team of the week. I was seriously considering him. But he's on the emergency list, so he's there. So comment down below your thoughts on my team of the week. Great team of the week. Just a really good team. Well-balanced side. And a lot of these players, a lot of goal assists, some of these forward mids guys this round. So, and yeah, they all deserve a spot in the team of the week. So comment down below your thoughts and what you would have done and everything like that. All right, now it's time to go through my Supercoach talk. I was happy with my score. I scored 2,303, and I'm in the top 20%. So I'm really happy with the score. I went up 1% in the rankings. But another injury to Max Holmes, who's going to be out for the rest of the home and away season. So do I use one of my last trades, or is it one more trade? I'll happily reveal to you all that I've got one trade left. So, and on Thursday night, I brought in Brad Hill last second, who scored 65 for Zach Butters to free up some money for my last trade whenever I had to use it. So Lombard's going to stay in the rest of the season. Do I just bench Max Holmes, though, and play Hugo Hall-Kahan, changing the players around? Do I trade Max Holmes to a flex player, so Max Gawn or Bailey Smith? They're the players I'm considering. I was this close to putting Murphy Reed in instead of Brad Hill for Zach Butters to allow more for that Lombard trade. That's what I would have done, but now Max Holmes is injured, so that plan is scrapped. Like all plans for Supercoach being scrapped this year through all these bloody injuries. We should be getting bonus trades for the last 4 weeks or so. It's bullshit. But here we are, like 3 more extra trades or something would be nice for the last 4 weeks, or 4 trades, 1 per round or something. But here we are. Doesn't look like that's happening, unfortunately. Put Brad Hill in, he's in good form, taking Jack Sinclair's role. Still had 22 disposals or something, but 65 points. He was robbed of some points. Now, Murphy Reed's got 35, so thank God I didn't pick him. And the other one was Toby Green, who I was going to pick as another option, and he done his calf at halftime. Now, I don't know what he scored, but he played half a game, kicked 2 goals, did all right, Toby. There were only 2 goals at that point. So, yeah, so look, I'm happy with my score. There's some players, scores I'm not happy with. Now, Naz got 57. He was tagged by O'Sheen Mullen. I was not happy with that score at all, although he was robbed of about 20-odd points. Should have got 87 or something, or 30 points. Max Holmes got 95 in 3/4, essentially, so not bad. Bodie Euland was robbed. He got like 22 touches and 6 intercepts, so he usually should have got 100. Lockie Ash was pathetic with 67. He should have also got about 85. Lockie Whitfield was okay with 102. Josh Worrell, 79, was all right, but robbed of 20 points again. And Dacos was my captain, 116. I was easily going to have that, but I had no choice anyway. Will Ashcroft got 99. He had 32 disposals, so he was robbed of some points as well, about 20 points. Jordan Dawson was pathetic, 74 points, just shit. Him, Heaney, and Warner and Grundy were all on like 50 at halftime, and all of them, bar Warner, Supercoach-wise, were garbage. Dawson, 74, pathetic. Barely scored after halftime. Heaney scored like 30 points only in the second half. Who got 87, pathetic. Lockie Neal, 135, was awesome. Lockie Neal should have got 150. Brad Hill, 65 points, not happy with that. Zach Merritt, awesome, 145. Matt Rowell, 142, awesome. Now, here's the catch here, everyone. I was going to loophole with Ison not playing. Hugo Hall-Kahan's 89 for Zach Merritt because he's been pissing me off lately. And thank God I didn't. That would have cost me 56 points. So, but then again, Hugo Hall-Kahan, if I fielded him over Hill, I would have got 24 more points. So that annoyed me a little bit as well. But Rowell, awesome, 142, back to Rowell's best. Hugo Hall-Kahan on the bench was 89, was good. Fitzgerald was pathetic with 24, and Ison did not play. I should have mentioned Bailey McDonald in the back line, Hawthorne, 61, Kyan Ann, 55, solid. Do I play Hugo Hall-Kahan? There's a few of the flex players in that I can move around where Hugo can go in the back line, and Max Holmes just goes in the midfield and all that jazz. So if I want to move Holmes around to the flex, I can trade him for any position. We'll have to wait and see, but yeah, I'm not entirely thrilled that Holmes is injured. I wanted to upgrade Lombard, who's doing well. But I would have been able to use that last rate on him finally. Been trying to do it for about 12 bloody weeks. But anyway, we'll move on now to the other positions in the ruck and all that. So Luke Jackson, 94, pathetic. He's having a shit 3 or 4 weeks. Brody Grundy, 96, also no good. Not happy with that either. Harry Sheasel, 133. He was awesome. Zach Bailey, 114. A great selection, proven to be. The Chad Star, Chad Warner, 103. Really good. Bailey Williams, 84. Was robbed. Bailey Williams had like 45 hit outs and like 7 clearances. How the hell is that only 84? That is bullshit. And he had like 15 touches. That was easily 120. This is how bullshit the Supercoach scoring is. Petrarca, 70, is pathetic again. But in his defense, he kicked 2 goals and 22 touches and like 7 clearances, or maybe 5. So that's bullshit. That should have easily been 100 in Lombard. Awesome, 84. And Tuke Miller, 127, had a lot of handballs, but was still robbed of about 20 points. If that was Marcus B, he would have got 180. Now, speaking of Marcus B, that hack from 3 goals and 22 touches, somehow scored like 145. And Marshall only got like 160. How does Marshall only score about 15 more points for an extra goal? Sorry, 1 less goal, but like 11 more disposals, about 5 more clearances, and about 8 more score involvements, and only scored 15 points more than someone. Shows how severely protected Marcus B is in Supercoach. Absolute nothing short of a disgrace. But overall, I'm happy with how my Supercoach team went with the score I got. But now, let's review and preview the rounds just gone and upcoming, shall we? Whoops. Alrighty. So, St Kilda were robbed against Geelong, 102-75. Geelong 102, robbed St Kilda, 75 by 27 points. We were robbed by. Like I said before, I'm not going to mention the umpiring again because it cost us the game, essentially. Yes, we didn't start too well, but the umpires knew when to insert themselves. When St Kilda were coming back or in an open paddock to run into a scoring opportunity or a goal, Geelong conveniently got a free kick. Or if we were held without the ball, no free kick. It was bullshit. Garcia, Filippo, Marshall, very good. For Geelong, Brian Myers was really good, and Jay Polkinghorn on debut was pretty good as well. Bailey Smith was not good. Turns over the ball. Flukes a goal that Caminiti should have touched. And apparently, according to some on the coverage, apparently he did touch it. So another reason why we were robbed in a big moment in the game. Geelong being severely protected. Nothing new. I've just remembered something. There's a reason why Geelong have a successful record in Geelong. They've got their own sets of umpires, and they're the only team in the AFL who train on the ground they play their home games on every week. There also a few morons tried telling me on the internet that Victorian clubs get to train at their grounds besides Geelong. I don't see Richmond and Hawthorn and that training at the MCG. I don't see the Saints, Bulldogs and North Melbourne training at bloody Marvel Stadium. St Kilda train at Moorabbin. The Western Bulldogs train at Winton Oval. North Melbourne train at Arden Street. Collingwood train at the KGM Centre. None of the Victorian teams outside of Geelong train on the ground they play on. Okay, and the dimensions at Geelong is different to the MCG and Marvel and every other interstate ground. And some idiots tried telling me that Adelaide and Port Adelaide train on the Adelaide Oval and Brisbane train on the Gabba. No, you idiots. Adelaide train at their training facility. Port Adelaide train at Alberton Oval. Freo train at Coburn. West Coast train at Mineral Resources Park. Adelaide train where I said they do, and same for Port Adelaide. And Brisbane train at Springfield. And Gold Coast, on a rare occasion, may train at People's First Stadium, but rarely. They've got a ground outside that ground. So don't give me this bullshit that they train on their grounds. That is bullshit. Get an education. Do the work, and you would know that no team outside of Geelong train at the ground they host games at. There might be a rare occasion where Port Adelaide do open training for half an hour, or Adelaide at the Adelaide Oval, or Gold Coast for their ground. But it's very rare, and they barely do it. So Geelong have got the advantage of the umpires. They've got their own set of umpires every time they're there. And they're the only team that gets to train on a consistent basis, if not all the time, at the ground they play on. That's why they have a good record there. No other reason. That's why teams don't want to play there. It's not because they're scared of them. They just know what's coming. The script is already written. Fremantle and GWS were able to defy the match fixing when they've beaten Geelong in Geelong recently. They defied the match fixing. But 99.9% of the time, teams can't defy it because it's severely hard to get over. Anyway, I'm done talking about this. We own Geelong at Marvel Stadium, and we own Geelong when it matters most lately. But we get robbed. Sydney 71-87, Adelaide by 16 points. 5 goals, I think it was, in the last quarter to 1. Adelaide's shown why they are a force to be reckoned with this season. Now, these are 2 strong top 4 contender sides showing and proving to the rest of the competition that you can play good footy in wet weather. It was shit weather there the whole night. They had a good scoreline and they had a good contest. And it was skills for the conditions were really good. Yet we see teams under the roof of Marvel and at other venues when it's not raining play like dog shit. Yet this was pelting with rain for parts of the game and consistently raining and a wet outfield and net and surface. And they still played a good brand of footy, both sides. Chad Warner, Isaac Heaney, Tom McCartan, Tom Papley, all very good. Riley Thilthorpe kicked the sealer late. What a great goal that was. Darcy was good up forward. Hugo Hawker-Hahn had his moments. Rankin was really good. James Peatling was really good as well. He was a guy I would have considered for Team of the Week on the bench, but he didn't make it. But they were really good. It was a great game. Great to see. The Crows, are they going to make the top 4? A late surge there. They're definitely going to make the top 6 of the way they're performing lately. And Darcy is contesting his 3-game ban. I don't think he'll get let off for what it's worth. Swinging arm on Cunningham. He's in trouble. All right. So Saturday, Port Adelaide 75, Freo 103, Freo by 28 points. Look, Freo did what they had to do, but they weren't convincing. This game proves to me why I've been saying that Freo aren't convincing me to win the premiership. They're just not. Scraped over the line against us, Carlton, and other sides throughout the season. And they scraped over the line here against Port Adelaide, who are shit. And you only got going in the last quarter. And I don't want to hear, oh, that's scary for the rest of the competition. No, it's not. You're playing shit teams and you're scraping over the line, or you're having games where a few opposition players are costing their team the game and helping you win, or it's the umpiring. Like the Saints game, we were robbed there as well in Perth. We were the better side. And even if you're winning on the scoreboard, that's all that matters, I guess. But you're not doing it in convincing fashion to the point where I think you're going to win the premiership. You're just not. So, yeah. But Sarong, Brayshaw, some of Freo's better players, and Joe Richards was probably Adelaide's best player. North Melbourne 76, Melbourne 92, Melbourne by 16 points. Again, not convincing at all. There was one quarter that got it done for Melbourne. Jefferson kicked 4 goals. An all-round team effort in the last quarter or so. North Melbourne had their chances, but not good enough. But yeah. Good that Melbourne won for St Kilda's sake, and the teams around that 10th spot. It's down to 1 spot for about 4 teams, including Gold Coast, including these 2 sides who Collingwood's now cemented a spot in the top 10, I think. Collingwood 90, Carlton 69. Collingwood by 21 points. Tim Membry and Dacos, Ed Allen, Ned Long, all had good games and got the team the win. It was a great all-around team effort. Harry Perryman had some moments. Josh Dacos the same. Billy Frampton the same. But yeah, good win for the Pies, an important win against their arch rivals, and they did what they had to do. And Carlton Patrick Cripps was their best player with 2 goals and 30 disposals. Harry Mackay and Adam Cherra both should be available this week, according to the coach, Josh Fraser. West Coast 69, Brisbane 93, Brisbane by 24 points. This wasn't convincing by Brisbane at all. West Coast were in this game for a lot of the game, and I'm having to blank. I think it was late in the third, or in the last, where it got Brisbane the job done. It was enough to get the win, but far from convincing as well. Kai Lohman was pretty consistent. Zach Bailey was pretty good. Lockie Neal was awesome. Will Ashcroft was awesome. But Bailey Williams easily won the ruck contest against Darcy Fort, and Sam Draper. But it is what it is there. West Coast Job Shanahan and Jake Waterman were really good. I liked the style that West Coast played. Bo Allen had some nice moments in the game. I thought Marcus Herbert, the one with the headband on, he probably needs to work on his kicking efficiency. That's probably letting him down. But, he's doing okay. So that's the main thing. There are probably some guys that, did well. There's some others I'm forgetting as well. Having a blank. Harley Reid had some moments as well. So he got stepped on the bench, and that's why he was off. He got injured on the bench, but he came back on after 27 minutes or something. That was bizarre. But West Coast fought out the game, and, I think they did really well, all things put together. So Sunday games, I'm not going to say much on the Hawthorn game. I'm just not. Richmond 52, Hawthorn 122. Hawthorn by 70 points. Battle and Sicily and Watson and Lewis and Connor McDonald all did well, and Richmond was shit. Tom Lynch got his 500th goal in the most unconvincing fashion. It's like the guy didn't want to get to 500 goals. For weeks, he's been stuck on 499. He got it. It's a good accomplishment, but he needs to go. He is terrible. Now, I get why he's playing. Just bring in someone else of experience that can actually kick the ball and get a kick. He's got to go. And if they don't get rid of him, it just shows how bad they're going and how the pressure's not on Adam Muse when they're getting spanked a lot of the time is raising questions there. Gold Coast 68, Bulldogs 77. Bulldogs were 9 points. Gold Coast started all right. And then they faded away in the third quarter, which got Bulldogs the win. It's disappointing for the Suns. Their chances of finals, a wild card, is almost over. I don't think they'll make it for what it's worth, but they're mathematically a chance still. And until they're mathematically not a chance, you can't rule them out. But it was disappointing for them in that third quarter, and that's what got Bulldogs the win. Matt Kennedy did well for 3 goals. I saw Bailey Williams' numbers were solid as well. But yeah, Gold Coast Petrarca, Miller, Rowell were really good. Ben King had a snap late in the game that hit the post. So it is what it is there. They were a chance to win. It didn't happen. Jed Walter has signed a 3-year deal with the Suns, and that's great news for them. But Ben King is out the door. But I think people expect that now anyway. In the last game, Essendon, 67 points to GWS 64. Essendon by 3 points. What an upset. One of the upsets of the season. Great win for Essendon. I mentioned before, so I don't want to mention 2 more again. But I thought, when GWS got that late goal through Xavier O'Halloran, I thought, oh no. Then Callum Brown got a goal. I thought, oh shit. But Essendon, you stuck it to the end. And you won. Congratulations. Sullivan Roby, Hussein Al-Achkar had big moments, as did Dyson Sharp and Zach Merritt in particular, throughout the game and got the side their win. With no Darcy Parish, who was dropped and did nothing in the VFL. He got like 20 touches, which is okay, but not at that level for Darcy. He should be getting 30-odd, having a good impact. They had a big win. Mr. Cox in the VFL for Essendon kicked 7 goals, so will he come back in the side? Just leave the side how it was, I think. He did well on the weekend, and the Giants, Jesus. They're a good side. Never write off the Giants. So we'll stick by that. Because if they make the top 10, they're going to cause some damage potentially as well. So don't write off the Giants. I'm not writing them off, but gee, this was a bad loss. And they didn't look like winning until the last minute. And then Peter Wright, 2-meter Peter, went bang with a goal. And as a Saints fan, with the ladder how it is, I was really happy with that. Now let's preview round 20 to wrap things up this evening. All right, so first game to go through. Thursday night at the Adelaide Oval. It's Adelaide and Collingwood, 7:30 Victorian time. This is a huge game. I'll be tipping the Crows in this one by 12 points. Friday night at the MCG, 7:40 Victorian time. Melbourne and Geelong. I'll be tipping Melbourne in this one by 10 points. Again, another double header on a Friday night. And it's the Derby, 8:10 Victorian time, 6:10 Perth time. It's Freo and West Coast. Stop clashing games, Andrew Dillon! Freo or West Coast, I'll be tipping Freo by 20 points. Saturday at Marvel, 105, Carlton and Gold Coast. It's a huge game. I'll be tipping Gold Coast in this one by 5 points. Bounce back. We got 2 Twilight games now clashing. 4:15 at the MCG. It's Hawthorn and Essendon. Hawthorn will win by 45 points. 4:35, another Derby clashing with another game. The AFL proving that they don't care about interstate sides. Proving it again here. At NG Stadium, GWS and the Swans. I'll be tipping the Swans in on by 8 points, but this could go either way. The Giants will be angry and they'll want to bounce back. And they're a chance to bounce back here. So never, ever write off the Giants. But I go the Swans by 2 points, who also want to bounce back. They both come off losses. They both shouldn't have had. Swans in terms of the position they were in at 3/4 time, and GWS in general. The next game to go through, Western Bulldogs in Richmond at Marvel Stadium Saturday night. Unfortunately, the Western Bulldogs will win by 60 points. Sunday, 1:10, it's Brisbane and Port Adelaide at the Gabba. I'll be tipping Brisbane this one by 60 points. They need to have a big win over a bottom side. And the last game on Sunday, huge implications for the top 10. It's currently the 10th place Saints against North Melbourne. North Melbourne are hosting, though, at Marvel Stadium. I'll be tipping St Kilda in this one by 25 points. We just need to get it done. Saints, just get it done. Please don't lose a great opportunity. Normally when the Saints are in pole position to jump up the ladder, or in this case, stay in the top 10, they normally lose. Max King and TDK should be back. But if Max King is back, what a great sight to see. A guy who's been through so much. Every Saints fan is behind you, Max. The true supporters of... Oh, God, I can't speak. The true supporters, Max, of you and the Saints will be there to support you, or virtually online, and wherever people are watching the game, or if they're at the game. Everyone is going to be behind you, Max. Silence the haters, mate. It's just an effort for him in the scenario he's been in, through all the mental stuff he's had to go through, the physical pain. To have him out there and just step on the field is an achievement in itself. He's done that in the VFL this year, but hopefully, touch wood, he can get through training this week and play on Sunday. And that first goal, when he does get it, because it will happen at some point, and when it does, it's going to be an emotional time, no matter when the goal happens, and no matter the margin, the occasion of the game. It'll be an emotional time. And Max Kingy, well, we're right behind you, mate. And we're proud. A true Saints fan is proud that you've gotten to this position where you're back at it. Good luck, Kingy. We'll wrap it up with this. You want me on Cameo, cameo.com/Cooper G. You want me to roast a friend, wish somebody a birthday, anything at all. Cameo.com/Cooper G. And if you know any AFL, AFLW players or any state league players, I want to get more people on the podcast for a goal kicking challenge and or an interview, please send me a message and we'll try and get something sorted. Thank you. And go Saints. And come on, get the W and keep the top 10 chances well and truly alive. Go Saints. And good luck, Max King.